Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Catalyst webinar series presented by the Education Committee for the Southern California PGA. The Catalyst webinar series is a bi-weekly educational platform for creating success and change in one's club and career. This week's presenter is Max DeSpain, Director of Competition for the Southern California PGA. Max has been with the section here for 5 years, and he's been in his current role as Director of Competitions for the past 3 years. Prior to that, Max comes to us from the Mid-Atlantic section of the PGA, and prior to that, he picked up a finance degree from Western Kentucky University. Max, thank you very much for being with us this morning.
Thank you very much, John, and thank you for the introduction, and thank you all for your time today. I really appreciate you all taking the time to kind of learn a little bit more of what we do and provide here in the section office. I think it's always great for all the members to become more knowledgeable of what all we offer the members and kind of what we're doing kind of behind the scenes for each and every one of you. As John just said, my name is Max DeSpain, originally from Kentucky. I do apologize this morning. I am a little bit under the weather, so I know an accent and cold does not go together very well, so bear with me. But I kind of like to go over what all we're doing here day in and day out as far as the tournament department, myself as well as Steve Monday, and kind of discuss that. If you have any questions, feel free to chime in, and I'll answer any questions that you may have. As John said, I went to Western Kentucky University. I grew up playing golf as a youngster, played competitively all through my junior years. And once I was in college, I realized that I wanted to continue to stay in the golf industry, my love for the game, and began interning there while I was in college during the summer months for a junior golf tour. That kind of led to one thing to another, and then kind of landed me here in Southern California with the section. I've kind of worked my way into this role here. Along with myself, I have Steve Monday here. Steve Monday is a native Southern California. His dad, Dan Monday, is a PGA member. Steve helps me along with all the events. He also oversees all the PATs and the senior events, and very grateful to have him in my corner. He's a great worker, and fortunate to have Steve Monday on board here in the tournament department. Our goal here, Steve and myself, our goal in the tournament department and purpose is to provide outstanding competitive golf opportunities for all the PGA members here in the section. We want to furnish, the best local and section professional golf tournaments in the country, and that's what we strive to do day in and day out at every event that we prepare for. Our mission is to enhance the competitive opportunities and provide quality events for all the PGA members and apprentices. We serve all the members here. We're here to serve you, and we want to make sure we do it at the highest level possible. We always want to promote local tournaments to the general public and supply education on the rules of golf and carry out those rules to maintain the integrity of the game. So overall, we want to offer competitive events at a PGA Tour caliber, and ultimately, that is what Steve and I are set out to do. The structure of our schedule, we have a very complex tournament schedule here, roughly over 170 tournaments. So our workload is pretty full. It starts off in January and does not stop in December. Most sections around the country do have a little bit of a period to get ready for the next season, but here in Southern California, we're lucky, with the weather, where it never really is any downtime. So we got about 170 tournaments that I oversee, administer, conduct. And what is the structure of the schedule? How is the schedule made up? The schedule is structured by chapters and divisions as well as the section. The chapters As you all are well aware, the chapters, each of you are belonging to a chapter. Chapters are broken up based on Desert, Inland Empire, Metro, Northern, and San Diego. This allows you to participate in events that are there in your backyard, easy for you to attend, travel to. A little bit smaller purses, but the chapter events, they conduct maybe 1 to 2 events per month each chapter. San Diego chapter is the chapter that is the most active as far as tournament wise. They conduct about 25 tournaments a season. But the chapters is a great opportunity to kind of get involved, network with some local PGA members there, and participate in local events there. On top of chapters, we have divisions, and divisions are a little bit more specific as far as gender, as far as age, or as your PGA classification. We have 3 different divisions that we offer on our tournament schedule. We have the women's division, we have the AAA, which stands for Apprentice Assistants Association, and we have the senior division. For the women, clearly you have to be a lady to participate in those events. Apprentice or a member may participate in the women's events. And we have 10 of those throughout the year, 10 women's events that we offer. In those women's events, there is one team event. We have match play in that, as well as stroke play, and of course there's second team. In the AAA division, which, like I said, is the Assistants Apprentice Association, we have 8 events in that division there. And that division really tries to dial in on the apprentices. We try to capture all the new apprentices coming in, try to get them involved early, provide them playing opportunities, provide them opportunities to come out and network. And in those 8 events that we conduct for the AAA, we try to make more of a social event, make it more of a fun event, not as much competitive, more or less get out, be aware kind of what's going on within the section and what we're trying to offer the apprentices. But A8s are also permitted to play in the AAA. So assistants can participate in the AAA as well as apprentices. And those fields roughly are around 30 to 40 players per event. And a purse around $4,000 to $5,000 for those AAA events, and they're a lot of fun. And finally, we have the senior division. The senior division is made up of roughly about 15 events. You have to be 50 and over to participate in the senior division. In the senior division, they have a lot of great things going on within the senior division. At a senior division event, you'll have a team event going on, as well as a stroke play event going on. You have a gross, a net, as well as different age groups within the senior division. So they've done a very good job. I say they. Within these divisions, I have some support there that helps me monitor those divisions. Senior division, I have Mr. Jerry Wiz that I lean on quite a bit to make sure all those are conducted properly. So the divisions are a great opportunity to kind of go out and participate in more events. Now, those are all obviously secondary options to the big piece of the pie, which is the section schedule. And that's obviously the big mama there, with about 25 events in the year. And that's what my main focus is throughout the year, are these section tournaments that we provide to all the members. Now I'll go here. I've missed this slide here, but you can see it shows all the chapters as well as the divisions I just discussed. And now the section schedule, like I said, has 25 events. These are scattered all over Southern California, the section here, and have the largest purses as well as large fields. We have all kinds of type of events that we offer on the section level, from stroke play to match play the team play. Some of the stroke play events that we have the aggregate series in January and February when the PGA Tour in town for the Farmers Insurance and the Genesis Open. We conduct an aggregate series for each of those, and the overall champion of those tournaments. So the overall champion for the Farmers Insurance aggregate series will receive an exemption directly into that PGA Tour event. And then we also conduct an aggregate series for the Genesis Open, where that champion receives an exemption directly into that PGA Tour event. So those are the couple of stroke play events we have. And do note, when the PGA Tour always gives one exemption to all the sections that they conduct the events within that section. So we have 3 exemptions we pass out to our members to go to PGA events. We have the Genesis Open, the Farmers Insurance Open. Like I said, we run a 1-day 18-hole qualifier for that to earn that exemption. And then we have exemption to the Humana Challenge. And the Humana Challenge, the overall section champion receives that exemption to participate in that event out in the desert in the spring. In addition to our stroke play events, we have quite a few team events. We have our 4-ball championship. This year we started hosting it at Valencia Country Club, hoping to continue that as a tradition there. That was a great host, great site. The 4-ball championship. We have the Pro Official Championship, which I encourage you all to come out and participate in. That's a really fun event where we kind of pull out all the bells and whistles. We ask the head professional or director of golf or the general manager of the facility to bring a decision maker, whether that be the president, whether that be a board member, etc. The Pro Official is designed for that PGA member to bring that decision maker of the club to an event so we can kind of show what we're all about, what we do, and how we conduct an event when we're on site. And hopefully that will, in the future, allow people to say, oh, I know, when you take something to the board and say, hey, we want to host an SCPGA event, that board member can say, oh, I played in the Pro Official. That was a great experience. They do wonderful things. We'd love to have them at our facility, have them on down. So I really encourage you all to look into the Pro Official and come participate in future events for that. And what we've also kind of started doing with the Pro Official, we're starting to try to tie in wherever the section championship is that year, host the Pro Official there as well. The Pro Official, we have all kinds of nice F&B, golf, so it's a nice revenue generator for the club. So the Pro Official, we like to generate some revenue for that club, just kindly hosting the section championship in the coming months. And it's also kind of an introduction to the members to come see the facility where the section championship will be hosted. So the Pro Official is one that we always kind of circle on the calendar. The Pro Scratch is another very popular event. That's been at Annandale Golf Club in Pasadena for about the last 6 years. And it has a very nice purse. It's supported by National Car Rental. In that event, the professional can bring a scratch player to participate. And that one always has a full field as well. We have the Senior Junior. We have the Pro Scramble, which that is linked in with our summer meeting. So if you attend our summer meeting, you could play in the Pro Scramble if you wish, which that one has a nice purse. We have the Pro Assistant, which I just finished 2 days ago. The Pro Assistant, we had 200 players again this year. It's out in the desert at Mission Hills Country Club. And as the head professional or the like will bring all their assistants to the tournament, and they can play off the wheel and have multiple teams. So that's a really fun event. We make that one a lot of fun. We have a social event on Monday night following the first round. So the Pro Assistants one is all the head professionals really look forward to and coming out and bringing their assistants. And this year was a great success. We had Pete LaCourcier and Nathan Williams of the Plantations Golf Club win on Tuesday at 15 under par for 2 days, and that purse was $20,000. So it was a great purse as well for a tournament this year. We have the Pro Lady, the Pro Super, and our Pinehurst Championship, and the Pinehurst Championship is with the annual meeting. So those are some of our team events. And finally, we have our match play championship. In the past, our match play championship, you had to try to qualify for. What we tried this year with our match play championship was just open up registration for everyone to allow everyone to come participate, open registration, and hopefully that'll pick up next year. We didn't have the match play tree that we were hoping for, but I'm hoping that that tree continues to grow and that word spreads that registration is open for match play. So those are the type of events that we host within the section. And we always try to visit the nicest facilities in the section. So we can always have nice schedules, so you can always visit some of the clubs that you may not typically get to visit. And that's always what kind of drives participation. There's two things really that drive participation that I see here is the site and the purse. If you have a wonderful site and you have a nice purse payout, you're going to have people there. So, and that's what we strive to do day in and day out. Steve and myself, along with Tom Addis and Jeff Johnson, we work very hard to try to grow the purse and as well as secure wonderful sites for all our members to go and visit. In addition to those events, we have our championships that we conduct within the section. We have our section championship, our senior section championship, and our assistants championship. Our section championship, our Southern California PGA Professional Championship, is what it's technically called, is the biggest event of the year. We just concluded this championship 2 weeks ago. We're just now finishing up our championship season, actually. It all begins with the Assistants Championship. I misspoke. It all starts with the Senior Section Championship in August 26th, 27th, and it just ended 2 weeks ago with the Section Championship. The Section Championship this year was hosted at Bermuda Dunes Country Club out in the desert. We had a field of 146 players, so I had a really nice turnout this year. And like I said, that's the biggest event of the year. That's where we pull out all the tricks that we have, try to really get that purse up. We got this purse this year up to $80,000. My goal is to eventually get that purse to $100,000. So that's what I'm working very hard to do, is try to get our Texas Championship purse of the year. This year, like I said, Bermuda Dunes Country Club is the section championship is a 54-hole championship. We have a cut after 36 holes for 60 players and ties to make the cut. We're on the final round. This year we had a very deserving champion, Michael Block. I'm sure many of you know or heard of Michael Block. He is a 4-time Player of the Year, actually 4 in a row Player of the Year. So he's a very nice player, but this is actually his first time winning the section championship. So I'm very happy to see Michael come through, win that event. He's a very nice player and played some really great golf. Played wonderful in the final round to come on top. Tried 67 in the final round to come from behind to win the championship. So very happy for Michael. And those Bermuda Dunes, they were a great host. They were host of the Bob Hope Classic for over 50 years. And that was actually Arnold Palmer's last victory was there at the Bob Hope at Bermuda Dunes. So great course, great facility, great staff. Thanks to all of them for hosting. Next year, the section championship, we will be split over 2 courses, and we'll be returning back to the desert with Quinta Country Club and Rancho La Quinta Country Club. Yeah. So after the cut is made after 36 holes, the final round will then be at La Quinta Country Club. So looking forward to another successful year back out in the desert. and that conducting that event is always fun to kind of put on a show for all our members there, and that's what we try our best to do at that section championship. And then you'll see the senior section championship. We hosted that this year at Oak Valley. That is a 36-hole event this year. Oak Valley is a great host as well. With the senior section championship, we had that purse up over $11,000, $12,000 this year. Yamaha is a supporter for that event. That's always a great one. We actually had the largest field this year in the senior section championship than we have had in the past 5 years. We get a snapshot of the field size of the past 5 years, and this was actually the largest field in the past 5 years, which I'm happy to report, of over 80 players. So that was great turnout there. Finally, we have the Assistants Championship. And the Assistants Championship, that can be any A8 or B8 can participate in the Assistants Championship. And that is supported by National Car Rental. This year we were at South Hills Country Club and had another great turnout there. That's the smallest field of all our championships. We only have around 50 players for that event. Another purse around $12,000 there too. Those are the 3 championships that we conduct here in the section. And what's so special about these championships are they actually serve as national qualifiers. So all 3 events that you see there, section, senior section, and assistants, they are all qualifiers to move on to national to represent Southern California section on the national level. At the section championship this year, we had 10 spots, so 10 players advanced on to represent our section. And that national event, or the PPC that we call it, will be hosted next June. The senior section championship, this year we had 9 players that will be representing the section. That's actually going to be getting started today, so be sure to follow along. All our members, they're up in, or they're down in Arizona, pardon me, they're down in Arizona today with the first round, so we'll be sure to follow along here in the section office. Encourage you to as well, all our fellow members down there playing in the National Senior Section Championship in Arizona. And finally, we have the Assistants Championship. This year we had 5 players qualify for the National Assistants Championship. That event's already been conducted. That was back in the beginning of September when that national event was conducted. What's so neat about the national? So if you're in the section championship and you're one of those top 10 that qualify for the national championship, those 10 then have the opportunity, when you're in the national championship, the top 20 in the national championship then qualify for the PGA championship. And just this year, from the previous national championship, this year we had Kenny Pigman and Brian Smock. They both qualified for the PGA championship. So that was really fun for us to watch 2 of our members play in a major. And it's a great opportunity for all the PGA members beyond our section, all the PGA members, to have the opportunity to play in a big event like the National Section Championship to potentially qualify for the PGA Championship. So that's a great opportunity for all our members as well. I'd also like to make a mention of this year at the Section Championship, we had Allison Curd qualify. She is the first female in the history of the section to qualify for nationals. So congratulations to Allison on that accomplishment. She finished T4, and she actually shot lowest round in the tournament on the final day, shot a 66. So congratulations to Allison. That's a great accomplishment, and we're very happy for her, and we'll be rooting her on in the national championship as well. So those are the championships that we provide here to our members in the section. In addition to the tournaments that we provide to our members, we also conduct open tournaments. These open tournaments are open to any amateur or any non-PGA member that wishes to compete. And some of those open events, as you'll see, are the California State Open, the SoCal Open, the Women's California State Open, the IEM Championship. The California State Open, this year we conducted it. It was the 118th year of that event, so it has very rich tradition and quite a few names, familiar names you'll see on that trophy, from Walter Hagen to Jason Gore to Michael Block. California State Open for the past 2 years has been conducted at Bear Creek Golf Club. I was very excited last year to be able to take that event to Bear Creek Golf Club. That's always a wonderful test out there and always great condition, and they're a wonderful host. The California State Open, with that event, we conduct 5 qualifiers for the State Open. In those 5 qualifiers, we have roughly about 90 players in each. And we'll take the top 10% in ties to qualify in the State Open. And then we have our list of exemptions, which are multiple ways to be exempt for the State Open, whether it be your finish from the SoCal Open, your finish in the section championship, your standings in various point races. So there's plenty of opportunities to be exempt there, and we continue to try to build the State Open, make it one of the best State Opens in the country, and that's always my goal, is to continue to make these events top tier and something people walk away and say, wow, that was a fun experience, I want to return next year. And that's something that Steve and myself continue to strive for and push for day in and day out that we're here in the office. And so next year we will return to Bear Creek Golf Club, and looking forward to that for the 119th playing of the State Open. We also have the SoCal Open that we conduct here within the office. The SoCal Open was just kind of resurrected about 4 years ago by Rob Keller, who I preceded. Rob Keller is now with the Web.com tour as a tour official. And Rob was kind of at the forefront of bringing the SoCal Open back. And so now we have the SoCal Open back on the schedule. And it was actually contested. It's actually one of the third oldest tournaments to be contested, behind the U.S. Open and the Western Open. So it's a very old event as well. Very happy to have that back on our schedule. We try to make that the SoCal Open more focused to our PGA members, giving the PGA members opportunity to come play in an open event against other professionals as well. And that'll have a purse around $50,000 to $60,000 there. The California State Open will have a purse around $90,000. The SoCal Open, just this year, we hosted Industry Hills Golf Club, which is the home of the Southern California PGA. We hosted it there at Industry Hills over both courses, the Babe Harris as well as the Eisenhower course. So the Ike and the Babe courses are 2 great courses there at Industry Hills. Very good location as well, and we had a nice turnout for that event. We only conduct 2 qualifiers for the SoCal Open, but my goal is to hopefully expand those qualifiers. I'm sure, as you all know, the qualifiers are essential to having a nice purse for these championships. So as we continue to spread the word about our State Opens and grow the fields and have more qualifiers, in return, the purses will grow as well. So that's always something that's on our radar. You'll hear me say multiple times, the purse is very important to what we're doing here. The Women's California State Open, that's something that I started last year. Once I got in this role 3 years ago, I had numerous ladies come to me and ask, why isn't there a State Open for the women? And honestly, I did not have a good answer for them, so I said, let's do this. And so last year was the inaugural event. I was very happy how it went. We had over 60, about 65 ladies come out and play in the first Women's California State Open. So I hope to continue to gain some traction with that State Open there for the women and grow that purse again. And my goal there with the women's is to eventually have an exemption to the overall champion, whether that be to the Kia Classic at Alfiara here in Southern California, or whether that be to the Symmetric Tour that they host in Morongo. But I'd love to have some kind of exemption to offer to that champion, which I think will help continue to boost and grow that tournament like I see it doing. And then finally, we have the Inland Empire Amateur Championship. And the IEM, as I call it, the IEM, is just like it reads. It's for all the amateurs here in Southern California. 2 years ago, when I decided, let's put it's 3 rounds, is always over Labor Day weekend. And I decided, let's do days 1 and 2. Let's split it over 2 courses. That way we can maximize our fields and see where we can take this thing. So we've gotten this tournament up now to 180 players over Labor Day weekend. We have 4 different flights: a championship flight, first flight, second flight, and third flight. So it's kind of a little bit different tournament for me to conduct, with flights and handicaps and whatnot. But it's always fun. I think it's very important, too, for the Southern California PGA to get out in front of these amateurs and kind of let them know who we are and get them familiar with what we're doing. So the Inland Empire Amateur is started back in the early 90s, and Jason Taylor, he was a very important part continuing the IEM. And we're happy here now in the section office to make sure the IEM continues to move forward and to that amateur championship to offer. So those are all the open events that we conduct on top of all the member events here in the section. So yeah, as you can see, from chapters, the divisions, the sections, to open events, there's quite a few tournaments that we got to oversee and attend and conduct and administer. So that's kind of just the grand scheme view of kind of our schedule. As far as I continue to say, purses. Purses are very important. Like I said, drives participation. But this year, I'm happy to report that we're going to pay out over $475,000 in prize money. So that goes to show sponsor importance is everything. That sponsor relations is something that we continue to, every day to try to build. Because without our sponsors and partners' support, those purses definitely wouldn't be there. So we got to thank our partners for that, and we got to continue to build those relationships. And we always tell our members, just give our sponsors a minute of their time, to hear them out, so you can help us out in the long run. A lot of these partners will come to us and say, we just want to talk to them. We just want them to hear us out, and that's all we ask our members: is take the time to listen to the partners, so will continue to support the section, support the meetings, support the tournaments, and all the functions that we try to do here in the section office. So sponsor importance is everything. So purses, we're very happy that we're paying out almost $500,000 this year. So for all these tournaments I just spoke about, we have a point race. For every tournament that we conduct, we have points that we distribute based on how you finish. So each chapter, they'll have their own point race. Each division, from the women's to the AAA to the seniors, they'll have their point race. And then in the section, we'll have our point race. And like I said, each tournament, it'll be weighted differently based on if it's a championship, based on if it's a team event, based on if it's a match play event. It'll be weighted differently, and the points will be distributed on how you finish. And at the year end, we have with our annual meeting, prior to our annual meeting, we have our President's Dinner where we recognize all of these point winners for their play throughout the year and being Player of the Year. Like I just said, Michael Block has won Section Player of the Year 4 times in a row, which that is quite the achievement and accomplishment that he's had there. But this year, Kenny Pigman actually overtook him and was just named Player of the Year for the section. So congratulations to Kenny. Took over Michael Block's spot of Player of the Year. So it's always kind of a fun race. I know those guys really get into it, trying to get all their points. And what's even better than that is at the very end of the year, thanks to Omega, one of our partners, they pay out. They give us $10,000 for the Player of the Year races. So we pay out all those top Player of the Year earners cash from Omega. So if you have a good season, you're going to get some bonus cash from Omega from your great play. So that's always kind of fun for the players to kind of have that those races going on throughout the year to see who's going to be crowned Player of the Year. And then on top of that, we have our teams. As you see there, we have 6 different teams that we make up each year. The California Cup matches, the Honors matches, Women's Cup matches, AAA North-South Cup matches, Senior North-South Cup matches, Chapter Challenge. The California Cup matches only happen on odd years. And this year we'll be playing Northern California at the Valley Club. And that team is made up of 8 players. The top 7 Player of the Year points and the section championship, the section champion make up that team. And we'll be at the Valley Club this year playing Northern California and their top 8 players. This is just the second year of these matches. We just created this 2 years ago, and it's a very fun little deal to kind of go compete against our counterparts in Northern Cal. This year we're hosting in Southern Cal. In 2019, we will return back to Northern Cal. The honors matches, that fills us in for our even years. So when we're not having the California Cup matches, it's the honor matches. And that's when we play the SCGA. The SCGA is the best amateurs here in Southern California. And that team is made up of 12 players, 2 of which are seniors, 10 of which are the section players, and that's all from the Player of the Year points. We also have Women's Cup matches where we compete against the women, the amateur women body here in Southern California. Our professional women will compete against the amateur women here in Southern California, and that's a team made up of 10 players. And then the AAA North-South Cup matches, that's every year as well, made up of 12 players. We go back and forth from north to south each year and play Northern Cal PGA in that. So those are always fun team events, a nice camaraderie there to go and try to take down NorCal or the amateur body. And those things. And then finally we have the Challenge Cup matches, which is in January each year. Chapter Challenge, Chapter Challenge. The Chapter Challenge is 12 players in each chapter, top 12 players in each chapter all get together. We host it at Pelican Hill each January, where we just crown the best chapter each season. So those team events are a lot of fun. I always have a good time conducting those. Finally, what do we do beyond our section events? We do also, beyond that, we support the PGA Tour. And what I mean by that, next week I have First Stage, Web.com Tour First Stage. So we conduct the pre-qualifier, first stage, and second stage for Web.com. In addition to that, when the PGA Tour is in town for the Farmers Insurance, when they're in town for the Genesis Open, we also conduct all the pre-qualifiers, which are 5 for each. So we conduct 5 pre-qualifiers for the Farmers Insurance, as well as the Farmers Insurance Monday qualifier. and do the same for the Genesis Open, 5 pre-qualifiers, Monday qualifier for that. So between the PGA Tour support, all our Open championships, all our section events, all our divisions, all our chapters, we have a very full schedule. Finally, I like to say, why play? Why host? First, I would say, why play? It's a great opportunity for networking, a great opportunity for socializing, meet new members, seeing old members. Great to get out there and compete, stay competitive. Or maybe you're a good player, financial gains. Or maybe you just want to go visit new venues, see new clubs you've never been able to see. All those are great opportunities for you to come out and play in a section events. I really encourage you to do so. Or maybe you just say, yeah, maybe I don't want to play, but I love to host something at my club here. I really encourage you all to consider hosting a section event. And from hosting the section event, as the host, you will receive MSR credits. In addition to that, if you wish to play as a host, PGA professional, you'll receive a free entry into the field. And then finally, the course exposure. It's always great when you have other members come into your facility and kind of see how you operate and how see your club and see the course. It's always nice to have other members come in and see it. So those are another great reasons to host. So I encourage you, if any of you are interested in hosting anything from a AAA event to a women's event to a section event, please reach out to me because I love to hear from you. And we always love to visiting facilities that would like to have us. Finally, stay in touch. I am here to serve you, the members. Please don't hesitate to reach out to me with anything. If it's a complaint, if it's a recommendation, if it's a question, I'm here for you. So please don't hesitate to reach out to me at any time. Of course, right here you'll see there's, once you go on the website, that tournaments tab there, visit that. If you go to that tournaments tab, you can stay up to date kind of what we're doing here behind the scenes, Steve and I, what we're doing day in, day out, which tournament is concluded, who's winning, what's coming up. Here, you make sure to follow us on social media, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. We're always posting the champions pictures. We're always posting kind of what's going on. It's a fun way to stay engaged and active within the section. And finally, we have the SCPGA app. This will make a great opportunity for you to follow. We do live scoring at all the tournaments, so you can follow the live scoring. Easy way to register when you're on the road, to register for events. The app's very important, so make sure to go ahead and download that and get familiar with that. Finally, here's my contact information. I did the office number. Did not fail to put on there. It's 951-845-4653. But there's my cell and email. Like I said, don't hesitate to contact me anytime that you may need me for anything. I'm here for you, the members. So please reach out. And thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. I hope to see you all out in future events very soon. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Max, for your time and expertise in presenting. I do have some questions that have come in over the course of the presentation. First one is interesting question. Do you know why the senior division is the only division that charges an annual fee to play?
Very, very good question. Very good question. The senior division does that just trying to help out their purses, essentially, and just trying to offset some of the admin costs and the other expenses that they face with each event. That's something we've kind of discussed also looking at for now the AAA division as well as the section, just to try to help out with the purse and cover those expenses. In addition, that also helps out with some of the teams that the travel teams that we spoke about. So that's basically what those fees are for, to help out the overall expenses that we're faced with, as well as some of the teams that we cover all expenses for.
And I can try to get where this question cuts off. For those of us over the age of 60, could we have age divisions so that we might compete with an older group of professionals?
Absolutely, absolutely. So what's so neat about the senior division is how they do break it up in age divisions within the senior division. So the senior division is 50 and over. And so within that senior division of 50 and over, they then break it up in 3 more age groups. They go 50 to about 57, 58 to 65, and 65 and over. So that way it kind of caters to everyone there, and kind of fits in your age. So within the senior division at those events, they do have 3 different age divisions within that.
And are women eligible to play in senior events?
Yes, 100%. Women are eligible to participate in women's events, and we actually have 2 or 3 that are fairly active now and already participating. So I know they enjoy having them. So more ladies that participate, the merrier. So absolutely.
Are there some new participation driving elements on the horizon for the section, or even nationally, to get more tournament participation across the board?
You know, we continue to try to look at ways to drive participation to what do the members want. And first and foremost, I say we want feedback from the members to see, what do you want? I see trends on how tournaments fields go, so there could be some condensing down of events. Therefore, the purses kind of go the other way for some events. So I think purses is what we're really focusing on now. Like I said, venues and purses is our main focus now for especially 18. It's trying to make sure we secure the best sites with the best purses. And that may be condensing some events so that our schedule is not so impacted, whereas we can do that a little better. I would say that's right now our focus point on trying to continue to help drive participation.
And I believe that concludes the questions. Last call for questions. I wanted to take this opportunity to thank Max for his time and effort. We know you have a busy schedule. Keeping up, orchestrating, administrating all the tournaments for the section is it's got to be a daunting task. So thank you very much for taking the time to put this morning's presentation together. For all the attendees, we will be sending out the 10-question quiz from this morning's presentation. Please take the quiz and return it to Sharon Kerfman at pgahq.com. A score of 70% or higher will earn 1 MSR credit for attending today's webinar. Along with the quiz in the email, I will be sending the YouTube link for today's recording. So if you get stumped by a question or two, feel free to watch the recording. It is open book, so to speak. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for participating in the Catalyst webinar series, and we look forward to seeing you in 2 weeks. Thanks, and have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye.